What's up guys, my name is Ace and welcome back to Try This Out. In this series, I just go over a couple classes that I find are out of the ordinary yet really fun to use. So for instance, I did do an episode on the Akimbo PDWs. Those are actually really solid guns, especially after the patch, and that's a really fun class to use. But this time we have an XMG class, and this is the class right here. It's the XMG bread and butter if you have it, or any XMGs that doesn't reduce your fire rate. Anything that increases your fire rate would be great. As long as it doesn't reduce your fire rate, then it's awesome. And I would go with that, with laser sight and rapid fire. These things are absolute beasts now since the last patch. You guys probably already know about this, or at least most of you will already know about this, but they significantly reduced the size of your hipfire reticle while not in lockdown mode with the XMGs in the last patch. These things are like SAC 3s now, but way better. They're more powerful and they have a really large ammo capacity, which is amazing. You can take on a whole team with these things now, and you can sometimes actually be successful with that, as you can see in the gameplay here. So a couple things that I'd also recommend with this class is definitely lightweight and gung-ho. Lightweight you kind of need just to be a little bit more mobile because these are LMGs, which means you do move pretty slowly with them, but lightweight helps out a lot with that. And then gung-ho is also great because you can actually maintain your sprint while also shooting. One other thing that I would suggest would be EXO overclock. That once again just helps you a little bit with your mobility, and then for everything else you can basically just fill in the blanks with whatever you want for your class. As for how to actually play with these guns, the key with these is never go into lockdown mode. There might be times where you're tempted to go into lockdown mode and try and wait an enemy out. Just avoid it completely and just treat these as if they were SAC 3s. So rush around, try and get right up close and personal. These things are actually still pretty decent out to a medium range, so don't be afraid to take a medium range shot without being in lockdown mode. And just completely get the thought out of your head that you can even go into lockdown mode. I find I'm a whole lot more effective when I do that. If you keep your gunfights up close and you're more or less ready for the gunfights, this thing is a melt machine. It's very difficult to counter these now in close quarters. So that's the class. Have fun with it. Try it out. I hope you guys have the bread and butter. If you don't, try something different with the XMGs, even just the base model XMGs, but the key is to use rapid fire and the laser sight, and then always hip fire, never go into lockdown mode. If you have any suggestions for a future episode of this series, of a class that is something that's completely out of the ordinary, something you don't see very often, but you find is very fun and very rewarding to use, and also at least somewhat useful. I don't want it to be like a crossbow only class or something like that, because that's not really a practical class. Something that you can actually potentially do well with if you play to the strengths of the class. Then let me know in the comment section below, and I might actually feature it for the next episode to try this out. If you enjoyed the video, a like rating is always appreciated, and don't forget to subscribe for more if you haven't already. I'll talk to you guys next time.